thigh region, you have anterior compartment, posterior compartment. Along with these two compartments, we have adductor compartment. Adductor compartment, right? So now coming to the front of the thigh. So front of the thigh means what? Which compartment are we speaking about? We are speaking about the extensor compartment of the thigh. Extensor compartment of the thigh. So now in the extensor compartment of the thigh, what are the muscles you come across? The first muscle which you see here is the sartorius muscle. What is this muscle? Sartorius muscle, right? And the sartorius muscle. So whenever you study about a muscle, what are the things that should come into mind? That is its origin of the muscle, insertion of the muscle, action of the muscle, and the nerve supply of the muscle. So here the sartorius muscle, the origin is from the anterior superior iliac spine. Anterior superior iliac spine, and the origin is from anterior superior iliac spine, and the insertion will be the medial border of the which one? The tibia, medial border of the tibia. And the nerve supply will be where the nerve supply is by the which nerve? The femoral nerve. The nerve supply is by the femoral nerve. So which is this muscle? This is the sartorius muscle. The sartorius muscle gets its origin from which spine? From where? From the anterior superior iliac spine to, and then where is it inserted? Inserted into the medial border of the tibia, or medial surface of the upper end of the tibia. Right. So this is what? This is the sartorius muscle. And the next muscles what you are coming across is what is this muscle here? This is known as the rectus femoris muscle. Which is this muscle? Rectus femoris muscle. So the rectus femoris muscle, what is the origin? So it is getting its origin from two places. One is from where? From the a notch which is present between the anterior superior iliac spine and the anterior inferior iliac spine. So the straight head of rectus femoris gets its origin from where? From the notch which is present between the anterior superior iliac spine and the anterior inferior iliac spine. And the reflected head gets its origin from the gluteal surface below the inferior gluteal line. So the origin from it is having a straight head. The rectus femoris has a straight head and the reflected head. So the straight head arises from where? From the notch which is present between the anterior superior iliac spine and anterior inferior iliac spine, and the reflected head arises from the gluteal region of the ilium below the inferior gluteal line. And this is what? This is the rectus femoris. Insertion I will speak later, or else insertion also you can where it is it is inserted into the base of the patella, inserted into the base of the patella, right? So you have studied about two muscles. What is the first muscle you have studied? That is the sartorius muscle. And the next muscle, what did you study? You have studied about the rectus femoris muscle. Rectus femoris muscle. Now coming to the other three muscles. The other three muscles are vastus lateralis muscle, vastus medialis muscle, and below it what you have? The vastus intermedius muscle. So vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius muscle. So here the vastus lateralis muscle, if you see this diagram, the vastus lateralis muscle gets its origin from the this is the right from the intertrochanteric line, upper border of the intertrochanteric line, and then getting its origin from where? From the lateral lip of the linea aspera. Lateral lip of the linea aspera. So vastus lateralis gets its origin from where? Origin from the upper border of the upper part of the anterior intertrochanteric line, and from the lateral lip on the posterior aspect you have the linea aspera on the femur, from the lateral lip of the linea aspera, right? And the vastus intermedius muscle, which is this muscle? This is the vastus intermedius muscle, gets its origin from the anterior, anteromedial, and anterolateral surface of the femur. Anterolateral surface of the femur. Right? And then coming to the other one, vastus medialis. So the vastus medialis gets its origin from the lower end of the intertrochanteric line, and on the posterior aspect from the medial lip of the linea aspera. Medial lip of the linea aspera. So this is the vastus medialis in the origin. So this is other than rectus femoris. What are the other muscles we are studying? One is vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis. So the vastus intermedius gets its origin from the anterior surface, anteromedial and anterolateral surface of the femur. The vastus lateralis gets its origin from the upper part of the intertrochanteric line, and then it is and also from the lateral lip of the linea aspera. The vastus medialis from the lower part of the intertrochanteric line of the femur and from the medial lip of the linea aspera. So these are the origins of three muscles. So in one word, if you want to say, the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius gets their origin from the femur. From the femur. And where are they inserted? We have already studied the insertion of these muscles into where? Into the base. When you are studying the patella, the base of the patella on the lateral side, and the base of the patella on the medial side. Now you see here these muscles. What are these muscles? The rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, the vastus medialis, and the vastus intermedius, which is present below the rectus femoris muscle. All these four muscles join to form a tendon. What is the tendon called as? Quadriceps femoris. What is the tendon called as? Quadriceps femoris. I have already taught you this when I was teaching you patella, right? So this quadriceps femoris and the sesamoid bone, which is developing within this quadriceps femoris tendon, is the patella. And this quadriceps femoris gets inserted where? Gets inserted into the tibial tuberosity. Gets inserted into the tibial tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity. And what is the action of these quadriceps muscles? The quadriceps means four muscles. What are those four muscles? The rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, the vastus medialis, and the vastus intermedius. All these four join to form a tendon, or the quadriceps femoris tendon. And this quadriceps tendon is getting inserted where? Into the tibial tuberosity. And what is the action of this quadriceps muscle? The extension is joint. The extension joint is by the quadriceps femoris muscle. And what is the nerve supply? So the nerve supply is by the femoral nerve, which we will study in the last part of the class, right? The femoral nerve supplies the sartorius muscle. The femoral nerve supplies the vastus lateralis muscle, the vastus medialis muscle, vastus intermedius, and the rectus femoris. Or in one word, you can say that the nerve of the extensor compartment of the thigh is the femoral nerve. The nerve of the extensor compartment of the thigh is the femoral nerve, because it is supplying the muscles in the extensor compartment. What is this one? The sartorius, the rectus femoris, the vastus medialis, lateralis, and intermedius. So this is all about the muscles which you find in the anterior aspect of the thigh. Anterior aspect of the thigh. Right. Are you understanding the class? Please answer. So still now, what did I teach? I have taught you about the muscles which you have seen in the extensor compartment of the thigh or the anterior compartment of the thigh. Sorry. Right. Now we'll go to another important topic, that is the femoral artery. Right. So the femoral artery, the two questions which usually come from the femoral artery is the first thing is about the branches. That a branch I'll tell you. So now, before going to the femoral artery, you should have some knowledge about the femoral triangle. Right, you see here, the femoral triangle. Where is this femoral triangle? You have a special class on that. But anyway, I'll give you some idea about the femoral triangle since I am teaching you the femoral artery. So this is an artery which you see in the anterior compartment of the thigh. So what is this one? This is the base is formed by the inguinal ligament. The base is formed by the inguinal ligament. The lateral boundary is formed by the medial border of the sartorius, and the medial boundary is formed by the medial border of the adductor longus, medial border of the adductor longus, and the apex is formed by the joining where the sartorius meets the adductor longus. So this is the boundary of femoral triangle, and the contents of the femoral triangle are, the main contents of the femoral triangle are the femoral vein. What is this one? The femoral artery and the femoral nerve. So from medial to lateral, the structures which are the contents of the femoral triangle are the femoral vein, the femoral artery, and the femoral nerve. Femoral nerve, right? So now this femoral artery. So when you are studying about an artery, what you should know? It is a continuation of which artery, or else you should know what else you should know? It's a branch of which artery, and what is the course of this artery, and what are the branches of this artery. Last but not the least, about the clinical anatomy. So now coming to the femoral artery, the femoral artery is a continuation of what? External iliac artery. External iliac artery. So I will not go back, but here you see here, what is this one? This is the common iliac arteries. The common iliac artery. So common iliac artery are the branches of abdominal aorta. This common iliac artery will divide into external iliac artery and internal iliac artery. So internal iliac artery you will be studying in the pelvis, and this external iliac artery, which is a branch of common iliac artery, will pass below the inguinal ligament or the midpoint of the inguinal ligament and continues as femoral artery. Continues as what? Femoral artery, right? So the femoral artery is a continuation of the external iliac artery, and this femoral artery, now I am telling you the course of the femoral artery. Here is a content of the femoral triangle, and it's a content of the canal. What is this canal called? As the adductor canal, or the other name for the adductor canal is the Hunter's canal, which you will study later. And now this adductor canal, it is a continuation of the adductor canal. It is a part of adductor canal, and then it pierces through the osteoaponeurotic opening. What do you mean by osteoaponeurotic opening? So this is a muscle. What is this muscle? This muscle is the biggest muscle, the adductor magnus muscle. Adductor magnus muscle. So there are 5 openings in the adductor magnus muscle. Adductor magnus muscle. So this femoral artery passes through the 5th osteoaponeurotic opening and enters into the popliteal fossa and continues as popliteal artery. So 2 things you should remember. So the femoral artery is a continuation of external iliac artery, and it is a part of femoral triangle, and then it continues into it passes into the adductor canal or the Hunter's canal. Then it passes through the 5th osteoaponeurotic opening, which is present in the adductor magnus muscle, and there it enters into the popliteal fossa. Where is this popliteal fossa? The popliteal fossa is behind the knee joint. So it enters into the popliteal fossa and continues as popliteal artery. So it is this femoral artery is a continuation of external iliac artery, and the femoral artery continues as popliteal artery after passing through the 5th osteoaponeurotic opening or the osteoaponeurotic opening in the adductor magnus, right? So this is about the course of the femoral artery. Course of the femoral artery. So what are the boundaries of the femoral artery here? So the boundaries of the femoral artery, are not the boundaries, the relations of the femoral artery. You know, when you study the femoral triangle, the anterior part, the skin, the superficial fascia, the deep fascia, everything lies above the femoral artery. And you see here, there is a femoral sheath. So this femoral artery and the femoral vein and the femoral canal are enclosed in a sheath, and that sheath is called as the femoral sheath. So anteriorly, it is bounded by the femoral sheath, and medially you find a vein here. What is this vein? The femoral vein. So the femoral artery is medially related to the femoral vein, and laterally it is related to the femoral nerve. So the relations are anteriorly femoral sheath, and posteriorly the medially is the femoral vein, laterally is the femoral nerve, And posteriorly, what do you find? The floor of the femoral triangle. So what are the structures you find in the floor of the femoral triangle? The iliopsoas muscle, the pectineus muscle. All these are present in the floor of the femoral triangle, which are posteriorly related to the femoral artery. So what did you learn here? You learned about the relations of the femoral artery. So what are the relations? Anteriorly, it is present within the femoral sheath. Medially, it is related to the femoral vein, and laterally related to the femoral nerve, and posteriorly related to the muscles. Which muscles? The muscles which are forming the floor of the femoral triangle. Floor of the femoral triangle. And later, what is happening? At the apex, the femoral artery is entering into the adductor canal, and from there, it is entering into the popliteal fossa and continues as the popliteal artery. The femoral artery continues as the popliteal artery. So this is about the relations of the femoral artery. Relations of the femoral artery. Right. Now coming to the branches of the femoral artery. Branches of the femoral artery. What are the branches of the femoral artery? So you should learn these branches, because usually they directly don't ask about the branches of the femoral artery, but they will be asking about the anastomosis taking place. So there are three important anastomosis taking place, and what are those you'll study later, but what are those? One is the spinous anastomosis, the trochanteric anastomosis, and the cruciate anastomosis. This we'll learn, but before going to learn about the anastomosis taking place at the spinous process or anterior superior iliac spine, we'll learn about the branches of the femoral artery, and you have to by heart the branches of the femoral artery, right? You see here, what are the branches of the femoral artery? One is the superficial epigastric artery. Superficial epigastric artery. Then the next one is the superficial circumflex iliac artery. So you see this diagram. So this is the femoral artery. This is the femoral artery. And then this femoral artery is giving a branch. What are the branches? You see here, which is going towards the abdomen, towards the rectus sheath. What is this one? This is the superficial epigastric artery. Superficial epigastric artery. And the other branch which is going towards the anterior superior iliac spine. What is this branch here? And which is forming an anastomosis near the spinous process. What is this branch here? This is the superficial circumflex iliac artery. What is this one called as? Superficial circumflex iliac artery. And the third branch you see here, which is passing in front of the inguinal opening, superficial inguinal opening. What is this branch? This is called as the superficial external pudendal artery. So pudendal, where you study all the structures in the perineum, I am not going to touch that now. Superficial external pudendal artery. Superficial external pudendal artery. And below the structures deep to it, the artery which is deep to it is the deep external pudendal artery. Deep external pudendal artery. And the main branch here, the main branch which we will be going to discuss is what is this one called as? This is the profunda femoris artery. So in the upper limb we have studied profunda brachii artery. In the same manner, here what is this branch here? Profunda femoris artery. Profunda femoris artery and the muscular branches. So again I will repeat the branches. Please listen. What is this one? The first one, which is going to the epigastric region or entering into the rectus sheath, that is the superficial epigastric artery. And the second one, which is going and taking part in the anastomosis around the spine, is the superficial circumflex iliac artery, because it is going through the iliac bone. And the third one is the superficial external pudendal artery. Superficial external pudendal artery. And the fourth one is the deep external pudendal artery. And the fifth one, which is a main branch, which is arising from the posterolateral aspect of the femoral artery, is what? This is the profunda. Profunda means what? Deep. Profunda femoris artery. Profunda femoris artery. And the last branches are the muscular branches. So these are all the branches of the femoral artery. Branches of the femoral artery. Right. So you know what you know? It is a continuation of external iliac artery. It continues as popliteal artery. It is a part of femoral triangle and the adductor canal. And then the branches. How many branches? The 6 branches are the superficial epigastric, the superficial circumflex iliac, the superficial external pudendal, deep external pudendal, and the important branch which you are going to study again, the profunda femoris artery and the muscular branches. So these are all about the branches of the femoral artery. Branches of the femoral artery. Are you understanding the class? Are you understanding the class? Right, good. Now, the exam question from here is, if they can ask you, they will ask you about the branches of the femoral artery. But the main question which has come as a 5 marks question is the profunda femoris artery. So we will discuss about the profunda femoris artery. So the profunda, you know that the profunda femoris artery is a branch of femoral artery. Is a branch of femoral artery. And where is it given? It is given within the femoral triangle. Then what does it do? It is passing backwards, and then it is between what? Between the adductor longus muscle and the pectineus muscle. Pectineus muscle. And now, what are the branches of the profunda femoris artery? So the profunda femoris artery is the largest branch or the longest of the femoral artery. And then studying about the branches of the profunda femoris artery. So you see here in this diagram, what is this one? This is the femoral artery. This is the femoral artery. And the branches of the femoral artery are, you already studied the branches. Now the main branch of the femoral artery, or the largest branch of the femoral artery, is the profunda femoris artery. So what are the branches of the profunda femoris artery? So the branches of the profunda femoris artery are, what is this branch here? This is the lateral circumflex femoral artery. Lateral circumflex femoral artery. Right? And what is this one? Medial circumflex femoral artery. Medial circumflex femoral artery. And you see the perforating branches, the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth. What are these perforating branches? They are passing, I told you there are 5 osteoaponeurotic openings in the adductor magnus muscle. So this perforating arteries, I'll show you the diagram in the later class, that these perforating arteries, they pass through the osteoaponeurotic opening. These perforating arteries pass through the osteoaponeurotic openings which are present in the adductor magnus muscle. Adductor magnus. Okay. Right. So there are 4 branches. This branch is what? The perforating artery. So what are the branches? The lateral circumflex, the medial circumflex, the perforating branches, and the muscular branches. So here, this lateral circumflex branch, you see here, it is passing between a structure. So here, where it is passing in between the anterior division and the posterior division of the femoral nerve. The lateral circumflex femoral artery is the one which is passing in between the anterior division and the posterior division of the femoral nerve. We will study later about that. But you see here, this is the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So this lateral circumflex femoral artery is having an ascending branch, a transverse branch, and a descending branch. The lateral circumflex femoral artery is again divided into ascending, transverse, and descending. And the medial circumflex femoral artery is also going towards the anterior superior iliac spine, and that I will discuss later. Right. So these are about the branches of the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So first we have studied about the branches of the femoral artery. So then the second we are studying about the profunda femoris artery, which is the biggest branch or the largest branch of the femoral artery. And now we are studying about the branches of the profunda femoris artery. One is the lateral circumflex femoral artery, which is passing between the anterior and posterior divisions of the femoral nerve, and the medial circumflex femoral artery, And then the third one is the perforating arteries, which are passing through the osteoaponeurotic openings of the adductor magnus muscle, and then the muscular branches, right? So these are the branches, right? Now, very important topic. So profunda femoris artery is over. Now we are going to study about the anastomosis taking place at each point. The first I told you the spinous anastomosis. Where is the spinous anastomosis? You see here, this is the anterior superior iliac spine. What is this spine here? What is this called as? Anterior superior iliac spine. So anastomosis taking place between the different branches of the artery. So the first one, you see the superior gluteal artery. Where is the superior gluteal artery and from where are they coming? The superior gluteal artery and the inferior gluteal artery, they are in the gluteal region. They are in the gluteal region, means behind gluteal region. You will study in the, again I will be teaching you that topic also. But you remember that the gluteal region, you have two important arteries. One is the superior gluteal artery and inferior gluteal artery. So the artery which is taking part around in anastomosis around the anterior superior iliac spine is from the superior gluteal artery. The superior gluteal artery. Then what else? The branch from the iliolumbar artery. What is this iliolumbar artery? First I told you the common iliac artery will be dividing into external iliac and internal iliac. External iliac, and the external iliac continues as femoral artery. So what is happening to the internal iliac? It is entering into the pelvis and it is giving a branch. What is that branch? That is one branch of the internal iliac artery is iliolumbar artery. Iliolumbar artery. And then you have one, what is this one? The superficial, what is this? Circumflex iliac artery. The superficial circumflex iliac artery is a branch of femoral artery. And the ascending branch of what? At the ascending branch of the lateral circumflex femoral artery. Ascending branch of the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So this one we have to by heart, or the best way to learn about the anastomosis is by drawing the diagram. Drawing the diagram, the first one from above, the iliolumbar artery, which is a branch of internal iliac. The spinous anastomosis, if he gives as a question for 5 marks, you have to write it is taking part where? Near the anterior superior iliac spine. And where is this one? What are the branches participating in the formation of the anastomosis? That is the iliolumbar, the branch of the iliolumbar artery, the superior gluteal artery, the superficial external iliac artery, and the ascending branch from the lateral circumflex femoral artery. Ascending branch from the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So these are the branches which are taking part about the anastomosis near the anterior superior iliac spine, or in one word you say it as spinous anastomosis. Have you understood about the spinous anastomosis and the branches? Please answer. You have to by heart this, or the best way to remember this is drawing the diagram. Right. So then the next one is the cruciate anastomosis. So where does this cruciate anastomosis take place? The cruciate anastomosis, this is I told you the gluteal region. So this is the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. We have studied in the iliac when I was teaching you the iliac bone, right? As a gluteal region. That again we will study. But anyway, so where is this cruciate anastomosis takes place? Cruciate means it's a cross-like. So the cruciate anastomosis takes place near the ischial tuberosity. Near the ischial tuberosity. Where does it take place? Near the ischial tuberosity. Right? So it is like a cross-like. That is where the name cruciate has come. So from above, what is the artery taking part in the anastomosis? This is what is this artery? This artery is the inferior gluteal artery. Branch from the inferior gluteal artery. Inferior gluteal artery. And what are these two branches? These are the transverse branches from the lateral circumflex femoral artery and medial circumflex femoral artery. Transverse branches from the lateral circumflex femoral and medial circumflex femoral. We already studied the lateral circumflex femoral and the medial circumflex femoral are the branches of profunda femoris arteries, right? And what is this artery? This is the branch from the first perforating artery. So if you see here in the cruciate anastomosis, all this the lateral circumflex femoral, the medial circumflex femoral, and the first branch from the first perforating artery, all these are arising from where? From the profunda femoris, right? Whereas the inferior gluteal artery is a part of in the gluteal region. So these are the branches which are taking part in the cruciate anastomosis. If this comes as a 5 marks question, so you can just draw the diagram here and you have to write it as the cruciate anastomosis is taking part where? Near the ischial tuberosity. And what are the branches taking part? The inferior gluteal artery, the transverse branches from the lateral circumflex femoral and the medial circumflex femoral, and the branch from the first perforating artery, right? So this is all about the cruciate anastomosis. So first I have told you about the spinous anastomosis, which is taking part near the anterior superior iliac spine. And now I am teaching you about the cruciate anastomosis, which is taking part near the ischial tuberosity. Have you understood this part? Once you understand this one, then I will go to the another anastomosis, that is the trochanteric anastomosis. So where is this trochanteric anastomosis taking part? So from these topics, from the femoral artery, mainly they will ask you about one anastomosis from here, and also they can ask you about the profunda femoris artery. Profunda femoris artery has come previously in your examination, and also this anastomosis once in the previous papers, trochanteric anastomosis has come, once cruciate anastomosis has come, once the spinous anastomosis comes. So the better one is to better draw the diagram and learn it instead of just by hearting it, right? Then coming to the trochanteric anastomosis. So where is this anastomosis taking part? The trochanteric anastomosis takes part near the greater trochanter of femur. And this is the blood supply from the trochanteric anastomosis supplies what? The hip joint. The branches from the trochanteric anastomosis supplies the hip joint. And I told you the adductor magnus muscle has osteoeponeurotic openings. This is the first osteoeponeurotic opening, the second osteoeponeurotic opening, the third osteoeponeurotic opening, the fourth osteoeponeurotic opening, and the fifth osteoeponeurotic. How many openings are present? The 5 osteoeponeurotic openings. Osteo means bone, eponeurosis, between the eponeurosis of the adductor magnus muscle. So here you see that from the first, second, third, the perforating branches will pass through this osteoeponeurotic, which are the branches of the profunda femoris artery, passes through it. And from the fourth, the profunda femoris artery itself passes through it. And the fifth one, I already told you, the femoral artery passes through this osteoeponeurotic opening and continues as popliteal artery. So where are these osteoeponeurotic openings? They are present within the adductor magnus. And how many are present? 5 are present. Through the upper 3, the perforating branches which are arising from the profunda femoris artery arises. And from the fourth one, the profunda femoris artery itself passes through the fourth osteoeponeurotic opening. But the fifth and the last one, the femoral artery, is the one which is passing through the osteoeponeurotic opening. Right, see here, then coming back, see here, the cruciate anastomosis. So what are the branches which are taking part in the cruciate, not the cruciate, which are taking part in the trochanteric? Cruciate I already taught you, with the trochanteric anastomosis. So you see what it is, the branch from the superior gluteal artery. I told you in the gluteal region there are 2 important branches. The superior gluteal artery, branch from the superior gluteal artery, branch from the inferior gluteal artery, and then what else? And then also you find the ascending branch from the lateral circumflex femoral artery and the ascending branch from the medial circumflex femoral artery. So these are the branches which are taking part in the trochanteric anastomosis. So see in this diagram, two anastomoses are present. One is the cruciate anastomosis, and the second one is the second one is what? The trochanteric anastomosis, right? So the trochanteric anastomosis, the branches from the superior gluteal, inferior gluteal, the ascending branch from the medial circumflex femoral, and the ascending branch from the lateral circumflex femoral artery forms the trochanteric anastomosis. And this the blood supply, the branches from here, they supply the hip joint. They supply the hip joint, right? So this is all about the profunda femoris artery. So profunda femoris artery, when it comes, you should write it is a continuation of the femur. It is a branch of femoral artery, and it passes through the osteoepineuritic opening. It has branches: medial circumflex, lateral circumflex, muscular, and perforating. And then it also, the branches from this medial circumflex and lateral circumflex participates in the formation of the anastomosis, that are the trochanteric, cruciate, and the spinous anastomosis, right? So this is what you have to write when profunda femoris artery comes as a question for you in your examination. Are you understanding the class? Right, and the last question which comes for you here is, the last one is the pulse, the exam. What is this one? The clinical anatomy of the femoral artery. So it is helpful for feeling, for palpating the femoral artery against the head of the femur. And then the next one is, you see here, you can palpate for the palpation of the femoral artery. And how do you palpate? Against the head of the femur. And also for the cannulation. The femoral artery is helpful for the cannulation. This diagram, you can see how the cannula is introduced into the femoral artery. And from the femoral artery, it is passing into the external iliac artery. From the external iliac artery into where? Into the abdominal aorta. And from the abdominal aorta into the inferior vena cava, the thoracic aorta, abdominal aorta through the thoracic aorta, and from into the arch of aorta. From the arch of aorta, you have come here, right? So this is for the cannulation of the femoral, or catheterization of the femoral artery, and for the pulsation, feeling the pulsation of the femoral artery. This is the clinical anatomy of the femoral artery, right? Now coming to the last aspect, last topic, going ahead, last topic of the class, that is the femoral nerve. So still now we have studied about the muscles, that is the sartorius and the quadriceps femoris. And the second aspect, we have studied about the femoral artery. And this femoral artery, the two important questions which come from the femoral artery are the profunda femoris artery, and the second one is the anastomosis. And regularly this trochanteric anastomosis and the cruciate anastomosis have come as a questions for you. And the last aspect of the today's topic is the femoral nerve. So femoral nerve, you already know, whenever you are talking about a nerve, you should know from what is the root value of this nerve, and what is the course of this nerve, and what are the branches of this nerve, you should know, and the clinical anatomy, right? So see here, the femoral nerve arises from where? From the L2, L3 and L4, from ventral rami. And what is the division? Dorsal division. So they are arising from the ventral rami, dorsal division. Remember the division, dorsal division of L2, L3 and L4. And I told you which is the nerve of the anterior compartment or the extensor compartment of the thigh. That is the femoral nerve. And now it passes downwards. And what are the branches? It is giving branches to the muscle. What is this muscle? The iliacus muscle. From the trunk of the femoral nerve, it gives a branch to the iliacus muscle. And also it is giving a branch to the nerve to the pectineus, muscle. Then it is passing below the which ligament? Inguinal ligament. It is passing below the inguinal ligament. And in the femoral triangle, I already told you, it is lateral to the femoral artery. It's lateral to the femoral artery. And it is present in the which one? In the femoral triangle. So the femoral nerve is a content of the femoral triangle, and it is lying outside the femoral sheaths. It is lying outside the femoral sheath. What are the contents of the femoral sheath? Means it is only femoral vein, femoral canal, femoral vein and femoral artery. But the femoral nerve, which is on the lateral to the femoral artery, is outside the femoral sheath. It's outside the femoral sheath. And I already told you this lateral circumflex femoral artery passes in between the anterior division and the posterior division of the femoral nerve. In between the anterior division and the posterior. So which artery passes between the anterior and posterior divisions of the femoral nerve? That is the lateral circumflex femoral artery. Lateral circumflex femoral artery, right? Now, what are the branches of the anterior division and what are the branches of the posterior division? So the branches of the anterior division are, the first one is the sartorius muscle, and two cutaneous branches, that is the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh and the lateral cutaneous nerve of the thigh. So what are the three branches which are arising from the anterior division? That is the nerve to sartorius, which is a motor branch. It is supplying the sartorius muscle. And then the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh and intermediate cutaneous nerve of the thigh. Right? And what are the branches which are arising from the posterior division? From the posterior division, it gives a branch to the hip joint. It gives a branch to the hip joint, and also it is giving branches to the quadriceps muscles. What are these quadriceps muscles? The rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, the vastus medialis, and the vastus intermedius, and the small muscle which is present on the anterior aspect of the femur, that is the articularis genus. And you see here, it is also giving a branch to the knee joint. It is also giving a branch to the knee joint. So what is the clinical importance of this? If there is any, what you call the inflection or inflammation of the hip joint, the pain will be referred from the hip joint to the knee joint. Through how? Through this femoral nerve. Through this femoral nerve is the one. See, you see here, the femoral nerve is not only supplying the hip joint, it is also supplying the posterior division of the femoral nerve, also supplies the knee joint. It also supplying the knee joint. So the pain from the hip joint, if there is an inflammation or the infection of the inflammation of the hip joint, the pain can be referred through the femoral nerve to the knee joint. Right. So these are the branches which are arising from where? From the posterior division of the femoral nerve. And very important branch, one more very important branch, which is the longest cutaneous nerve of our body, that is the saphenous nerve. The saphenous nerve will supply until the great toe or the big toe, ball of the great toe, right? So if you see here, you can see the femoral nerve. This is the saphenous nerve which is supplying almost until the, what is this one? Until the ball of the great toe, all of the ball. The blue structure which is present here is the branches, which is the skin which is supplied by the femoral nerve. So what are the cutaneous nerves you see from the femoral nerve? From the anterior division, you have the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh and the intermediate cutaneous nerve of the thigh. And the other cutaneous nerve is what? The saphenous nerve, which is the longest cutaneous nerve and which is arising from the posterior division of the femoral nerve, posterior. And what are the muscles? From the trunk, it is giving two muscles. One is the iliacus and the pectineus. And from the anterior division, it is supplying the sartorius. From the posterior division, the quadriceps muscles. One, the vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, vastus medialis, articularis genu, and the rectus femoris. And what are the joints supplied by the femoral nerve? The hip joint and the knee joint, right? So this is all about the femoral nerve. I hope you have understood the class. Have you understood the class? Right? So this is all about today's class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.